This land receives intense sunlight, almost no rainfall, and constant wind. By conventional standards,
the soil here is dominated by sand and stone, with almost no organic matter.
Before any planting begins, the land must be assessed. Every decision that follows depends on understanding these initial conditions.
dry soil like this cannot retain moisture or nutrients. Without intervention, roots cannot survive long enough to establish.
Machinery alone cannot solve this problem. Human judgment is required to decide how much the land can be altered.
Successful desert farming begins long before seeds are planted. It starts with restraint, observation, and patience.
What happens next will determine whether this land remains barren or begins to change.
The first step is breaking compacted layers beneath the surface. This allows future roots and water to penetrate deeper.
Machines expose the soil structure, but manual labor is required to correct what machines cannot. Desert soils often contain hard layers that restrict growth. Identifying and disrupting them is critical at this stage.
At this stage, the goal is not fertility. It is creating physical conditions where improvement becomes possible.
Even after breaking the soil, care must be taken not to undo the work through excessive compaction.
The land is still barren, but it is no longer untouched.
After breaking the soil, moisture management becomes the next priority. Without it, no amendment will remain effective. Desert soils absorb water rapidly but retain very little of it. This uneven absorption must be addressed early. Organic matter is introduced not for nutrients alone, but to improve structure and moisture retention. Changes at this stage are subtle. Improvement happens gradually, not instantly.
Irrigation is prepared before planting begins. Precision now prevents waste later.
The soil is still hostile, but it is no longer lifeless.
Planting does not begin with seeds in the ground. It begins with controlled seedlings prepared elsewhere.
Strong root systems are essential. Weak seedlings will not survive desert conditions. Spacing determines airflow, water efficiency, and future plant health.
Initial watering is minimal. Too much water at this stage can be as damaging as too little.
This is the most vulnerable moment of the entire process.
The first weeks determine whether the crop lives or fails.
Water must reach roots without evaporating at the surface.
Temporary shade reduces stress during extreme heat.
Healthy leaves indicate roots are functioning below the surface. Survival is the first success.
Once established, plants begin rapid vegetative growth.
As canopy develops, evaporation decreases.
Nutrients are applied cautiously to support growth without excess.
This stage prepares the plant for curd formation.
The crop has moved beyond survival.
As growth slows, the plant redirects energy inward.
Direct sun exposure can damage developing curds.
Physical barriers reduce pest pressure without chemical reliance.
Curd quality is determined now, not at harvest.
Protection, not speed, defines success at this
Maturity
stage.
is reached quietly, without visual drama. Maturity is reached quietly, without visual drama.
Water is adjusted to prevent curd loosening before harvest.
The crop is ready.
Harvest begins at first light to preserve quality.
Cutting is done carefully to protect both crop and field. Speed after cutting reduces heat stress. Consistency reflects the work done months earlier. The desert did not change. The approach did.